Welcome guys, thank you so much for joining in. So today in this video, I'm actually going to show you a very interesting scenario unfolding right now with Bitcoin price action and also with Ethereum. Like always, we are going to start this analysis by looking at this Bitcoin price action first. So if we look at this price structure here of Bitcoin right now, you can clearly see this scenario here, which we have talked plenty of time in my video. According to this movement here, this price movement was more likely following a Wyckoff's re-accumulation phase. And according to this Wyckoff re-accumulation phase, the price here had a really higher probability to get gravitated towards the resistance line. This resistance line of 40,000 to 41,800. And I've talked about this scenario so many times in my videos. I also showed you this example here. This two example of Wyckoff re-accumulation phase, which was actually playing out. And I said you, if this is going to be as a spring action or if this is going to be a shakeout action, doesn't matter. The price here had a probability to get gravitated towards this resistance line. And if we look at this price movement right now, you can see we came exactly at this resistance line. So now there are two scenarios what we will be looking for. First scenario is this here, one with this spring action, and another one is for with this shakeout type of scenario. Because if you look at this price movement, right, any sort of a rejection now from this resistance line, one here could be a move in this manner, a fake out liquidating all the longs here, and then again a movement here in an upper direction, just like with this example here with the spring, right? You can see here. And another example, if this is going to be a more like a fake out type of scenario, then we could expect a move here in this manner, just like with this second example, the creek you can see here, right? This fake out type of or shake out type of scenario, and then a movement in an upper duration. So these two scenarios are what I am looking at right now, looking at the price action of Bitcoin. And if you have been following me since days now, you know we have talked about this price movement using different examples. Let me show you one more time. So now if we look at this here again in a daily time frame, you can see I told you guys the price here was making a very nice descending triangle type of scenario, and many were telling me like, hey Anup, you are showing us a movement here in an upper duration, but according to this descending triangle is a bearish scenario, so the price should actually head to the downside. But I told you guys very loud and clear with this example here, in our case right now what we were witnessing was this bullish descending triangle in an uptrend. So we had this impulsive move here, consolidation phase, and now what we are witnessing is this another impulsive move here. So if you look at this price action, you can see impulsive move here, consolidation, right? You can see consolidation, and now this could be another impulsive move here. This was exactly what we talked on my videos, right? You can see this impulsive move, consolidation, and again another impulsive move. And right now if you look at the price action, you can see this is exactly what we are also witnessing with Bitcoin price action. But I want to make you guys one thing very clear. Just because this is an impulsive move here in upper duration doesn't mean the price has to follow this rising trend line here. It might also see some sort of a consolidation or even longer term consolidation before it starts breaking again in upper duration, right? So this is also one scenario we have to take into consideration, because I just showed you with this Wyckoff re-accumulation phase, we could see a more like a shakeout type of scenario also, and that we have to be prepared for. And I also said to you guys, if you don't want to look this as a descending triangle, you can also see this here playing out as a very nice falling wedge. And I said to you guys, this falling wedge here was also clearly flashing us that hey, the price movement what we could be seeing here is also indicating a possible move in an upper duration, right? So, and if you look at this example here, this was the falling wedge example I showed you, if you remember properly. This impulsive move, more like a downward movement, making lower highs, lower lows, and then once breaking out of this upper line of this falling wedge, this impulsive move to the upside. And this is exactly what we are also witnessing right now with Bitcoin price action, because you can see impulsive move, lower highs, lower lows pattern, and then again a move here in an upper duration, just like with this example of falling wedge here. And if you have watched my video, you know why I'm actually saying you that this price movement here was making a higher highs, higher lows. Is because if we look at this in a 4-hour time frame, you can see it very clearly. Let me delete the drawings. You can see guys, this here was a very nice lower highs, lower low continuation pattern. I just showed you with this falling wedge, right? But if you look at this right now, this here is making a very nice higher highs, higher lows continuation pattern, right? So if you want to know the price target here to the upside, what we can do is use this Fibonacci extension level. And if you have watched my video from yesterday, you know we did talk about this price movement across this 0.7x is Fibonacci extension level, and this 39,580 was our exact price target on my yesterday's video. And you can see the price did got a movement here in an upper direction, reaching the exact price target. And I also said to you guys, if this is going to continue, 41,600 to 41,800 is going to be our next possible target if this trend is going to continue. And you also have to take one scenario into consideration, is that if we are going to see any sort of a rejection, this line here, this 0.786 Fibonacci extension level around 39,600 is going to be a support if we are going to see any sort of rejection here, right? And then we could expect again a move here in that upper direction towards this 41,600 to 41,800 price level. And if this is going to be again a bigger pullback, then we know this 0.618 is going to be one hell of a support for Bitcoin, because you can see this line here has acted as a very strong of resistance, but once we were able to find support above it, price had a really nice bounce in an upper direction. So what I'm actually trying to show you here is that if you focus only on this area where this 0.618 is, right, this 0.618 Fibonacci extension line is around 38,020 price level, this year is going to be one very strong support for Bitcoin if we are going to see any sort of a price pullback, because after that I'm actually expecting more likely a move in this manner, because to the downside we also have this lower line of this ascending channel which could be acting as a support. So this is one scenario what I see right now looking at the price action of Bitcoin. So now let's also look at Ether price action. So before I switch into the other chart, guys, I just want to make you aware that we still have the $620 bonus available right now if you use my Bybit link here, because this is only for limited time. You just have to follow some simple steps. I have written it down all for you. And also, if you look at this bonus structure here, if you deposit 0.01 Bitcoin, you are eligible to claim this $115 bonus. Or if you deposit 0.05 Bitcoin, you are going to claim this $150 bonus. Or let's say if you are going to deposit 1.5 Bitcoin, then you are eligible to claim this $600 bonus completely free. So what you can do is, after your initial deposit, after claiming this bonus structure, you can withdraw your initial deposit. So you are only going to play with this bonus structure you just received from Bybit that was completely free. So even if the trend is going to go against you, this was actually the free money, right? So why not to take advantage of this opportunity? So now let's look at this Ether USD chart. So now if we look at this Ether USD starting in a weekly time frame, you know this price movement here, what we are actually seeing in a bigger time frame, has already been talked in my videos plenty of time. Because the reason I'm bringing this again starting in a weekly time frame today is because the price movement here, what we are witnessing, is doing exactly like what we have talked many time in my videos, because I want you guys to understand this. Breaking the previous key level of resistance, temporary resistance line, is actually a buy signal. And if you have bought here, because I've told you so many times, if we are going to break out of this, then there is more likely a scenario of a movement in an upper direction, because according to this Jesse Livermore's pivotal point theory, this is going to be a buy signal. And you can see the price here has already moved around like 24 to 25% in an upside. So now, does this still has a capability to continue in an upper direction? Because in a weekly time frame, this price movement what we are witnessing is still a very impulsive move, because according to this Jesse Livermore pivotal point theory, you can see breaking the previous temporary resistance line, this point B area, is a buy signal. So according to him, this trend has capability to move in an upper direction. So in a weekly time frame, I'm actually saying even if we are going to see any sort of a rejection, then also expect a consolidation and then again a continuation to the upside. Breaking the previous high structure, we had a really impulsive move in an upper direction in a weekly time frame. So this here is showing us that the price could still continue in an upper direction in a bigger time frame. And if you look at this in a bit different way, you can also see here in a daily time frame. Let's say in a daily time frame, we have also talked about this scenario here, this ascending triangle scenario, right? You can see here for Ether USD in a daily time frame, because if you monitor this price movement using this ascending triangle, the upper target here from this point to the lower area. So if this is going to happen, right, this point here, the price target to the upside is around 1880 to 1890 price level. So now what we are going to do is we are going to take this Fibonacci extension just like with Bitcoin price action, because we want to know what is happening here. Because right now, if we look at this price structure here, you can see, guys, this price movement here, right, is also indicating exactly at this 1.618 Fibonacci extension level, where our price target here is of this ascending triangle. You can see exactly at this 1880 1890 price level, this is also showing us that, hey, the trend here for Ether in the upcoming days still has potential to come across this 1.618 Fibonacci extension level, which is around 1880 to 1890 price level. So any sort of a rejection now, right, any sort of a rejection, then we should also be aware that this price pullback could come across this 100% Fibonacci extension level of 1562 price level. So this 1562 is going to act as a very, very strong support. So we have to understand one thing, guys, because even if we are going to see any sort of a reversal, as I've always said you, this is absolutely normal, right? Because we cannot always expect price to move in this manner straight here in an upper direction. There are going to be some sort of a consolidation, also some pullback before reaching our end destination. So that is a very, very important thing you have to keep in mind. And also, if you look at this in a smaller time frame, right, let me switch this into 4-hour time frame, because I want to show you guys one very simple method of looking at this current price action. Because if I use this rising trend line to show you guys what is happening here and where the trend is possibly heading, you can see here, according to this rising trend line here, if you focus on this rising trend line, this rising trend line is not just only acting as a support here, right? You can see this is not just actually acting as a support, this is also showing us a possible trend direction where we could be heading. You can see, and this is a very nice move in an upward direction. And the reason why I'm actually showing you this one is I want you to understand, every time when we had this pullback here, you can see impulsive move, and when we had this pullback, price came straight to the rising trend line, found support, and then headed in an upward direction. Again, we got rejection here, we got pullback, and price came exactly after this impulsive move here, came across this rising trend line area, found support, again impulsive move, you can see pull back around this rising trend line area, again another move in an upper direction, and again pull back around this rising trend line area. What I'm actually trying to show you here is that if you monitor this price movement right now and see any sort of a rejection, right, any sort of a price pullback, doesn't mean the trend is going to be bearish, because if you are going to see a bigger price pullback around this trend line area, this rising trend line is going to be a very, very strong support for Ether. And you can see after that, in most of the cases, it has already actually seen a very nice move in the upper direction. So I would be also expecting, if you are going to see any sort of a bigger pullback, right, then this rising trend line here to be acting as a very, very strong support. And if you want to look at this in a bit different way, you can also add the ascending triangle. So you can see this line which previously acted as a resistance, right, resistance. So if we are going to see any sort of a pullback, then we know that this rising trend line, and along with this upper line of this ascending triangle, which is going to be around this 1350 to 1330 price level, is going to be there, and it's also going to hold the price if we are going to see any sort of a bigger price pullback. And one thing, guys, if you look at this, for example, ascending channel, once we broke out of this ascending channel, price got a pullback across this rising trend line area. And if you look at this in a smaller frame, you can see this was a very nice symmetrical triangle. Breakout, after that, got a pullback, right? Pullback straight towards this rising trend line area, because you can also add this scenario here. If you look at the price action, you can also see this is a descending channel. But once we were able to break out the upper line of the descending channel, we had a move in an upper direction. You can see, right? So you can see again, a move here in an upper direction. This was a symmetrical triangle, small symmetrical triangle, breakout in upper direction, pullback scenario again, descending channel. You can see, right, price came at the lower end area, I mean this rising trend line area. You can see this scenario is unfolding again and again. So what I'm actually trying to show you here is that right now you can see this line of 1660 is going to be a very, very strong support, because it has previously acted as a resistance here, right? So it's going to be a very strong support. And even if we are going to say that, hey, now not only this is going to be a very strong support, then what we can do, just like with the previous example, we can also add an ascending channel right now. So you can see now this previous top here acted as a resistance, but once we were actually seeing this price pullback, it acted as a support. So what I'm actually trying to show you here is that it has already acted as a support here, and also this lower line area of this ascending channel is acting as a support. So now our possible price target to look for would be again the previous high area. So in this case, this top here, right, is going to be our target area, because I'm actually expecting we are going to see more like pullback type of scenario, because we are going to get some rejection here, and then again a move in an upper direction following this ascending channel in an upper direction like this. So guys, these are some of the example I thought sharing with you in today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this video was helpful enough. If that's the case, then hit the like button. And also, if you're watching this for the first time, definitely hit the subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye guys.